Morning everybody, welcome back to Codename Trevor. Trevor the tractor. So this is my International B275. Previously we've done a bit of a walk around, had a look, got it going. Didn't start very well, but that's how it rolls, a bit cold at the moment. Today we're going to try and fix this problem here. Excuse the shadow. So got a new radiator, got a very leaky old radiator. So we're going to take that off, hopefully get the front wheels off. We've got to get this linkage bar off so we can get it straightened. And we're also going to take off this step so we can get that straightened. But first up, it's radiator. I've had the tractor charging all of yesterday and most of this morning. So the radiator is a fairly simple exercise. There's a bolt there, it's a bit hard to see in the light. There's a bolt that should be there, it's not there. Undo the top hose, around this side. Undo the bottom hose, and under there's a couple of bolts that I have to try and get off. So I'll get all that loosened and we'll pull the radiator off, and hopefully it'll be a fairly simple job. Okay, there was some violence involved in getting the bolts out of the bottom. So top bolt, top hose, bottom hose, radiator out. So this is the old radiator. These are the bolts that go in the bottom of the new one. So we'll get them installed. Also need to pull these two little nuts off the side, put them on, and then we'll bolt it all up, fill it up with water and see what happens. Just so you can see, actually I'll try and see, I've cleaned all this out today. It was full of dirt and sponge and rocks and mud, bees nests and all sorts. So hopefully now it doesn't fill up with mud. We can keep everything as it should be. I'm not going to replace the belts today. Can't really get them during this lockdown, but we'll get a new set and get them on later. Alright, bolts are in. Steered it up. Bolts were in. Bolts back in. The top hose on. Everything looks okay. Alright, do it all up, see if it holds water. Go again. Clamps done up, bolt done up, bolt back in there, done up. Radiator's a little bit sideways, but we'll have a look at that. Still got to put the bottom 2 bolts in. These 4 little ones on the side, they're clearly important. And tighten the generator up, and we'll see if it'll start. Oh, and put some water in it, of course, just for fun. Okay, update on progress. There is water going in the radiator. The bolt on the generator was stripped, so we fixed that. The bottom 2 bolts are a pain. Have to get a different socket to get them done up tight. And hopefully in a minute we can start this and pressurise the system and see if it holds water. Stay tuned. Here we go. Not this morning, maybe later. Definitely later. Alright, well, while the battery's charging, there's a somewhat worrying sign at the front here. There's water in the radiator. And there's drippy coming out the front. So, might be cup of tea time. Sit back and relax. And then I'm going to take the front wheels off and work on that bar and that step. And then if that continues to drip, I'm going to get cranky and emotional and continue trying to get episode 1 up on the YouTubes of life. So yeah, let's hope it stops dripping, because otherwise I'll be cranky. See you in a while. So while the power's out and we can't do anything else, we might as well get this arm off. Internet theory says undo the bolts and hit with a hammer and they should pop right out. I might give that a whirl. But this, all these ball joints will get replaced as we go. classic internet theory successful. What you didn't see off camera was me trying to beat this thing to death, but it's off. We can get it straightened, a couple of new ball joints, and now we can have a look at why this steering box isn't exactly healthy. Okay, next job, take the step off. It's a bit ugly down here, so I probably won't film me trying to get these two bolts out and that bolt out over there, but see, someone in the past has tried to straighten it, so we'll pull it off and have another go. While we're down here, axle hub seals don't look too bad. That's the driver's right hand side, and that's the passenger side. Most of this oil build up down here, I think I found my hydraulic leak at top. I think I've got an O-ring that's let go. So once we get all this cleaned up, and we'll give it a proper wash and see what's coming out of the bottom. Okay, steering link off. You can clearly see it's got some straightness issues. Step off, same thing. I've got a mate who's pretty handy with metal stuff. He's going to have a go, and if he can't straighten it, he'll probably just make me a new link arm. So next job, because the power's still off and I can't get things going, is I'm going to take the front wheels off and have a look at those and get some new tyres for the front. All the jobs are done underneath the tractor for now, so once the front wheels come off, there'll be no working under the tractor. Never ever work under a suspended load, because if you get squashed, well, you're dead. 6 nuts, 6 by 150, I think I read in the book. It's not a huge drama. Probably won't put tractor tyres back on the front in the short term, and pick up some cheap 4-wheel drive tyres, and then see how we go. It's all a bit rusty, so I'll come off. This tyre was definitely depressed, but can't steer without air in them. So I'll get it off. I'll get this one off, and we'll wait for lockdown to end. See if we can put some new ones on. Alright, that's one off, and a nice big spider crawled out from under it, which is great. Not a big spider fan. We'll put these back on so we don't lose them, and do the other side. Alright, 2 front wheels off. Just move my camera stand out of the way. So this side, we call this spider side, there's a bit of a wobble in it. When we get the wheels back on, we might pop the caps and tighten that one up a little bit. I've added some extra support under the front. I'm gonna have to see if I can borrow a set of hardcore stands from somewhere. This side, not too bad. Plenty of things living in here as well. It's a bit tighter, but we'll have a look at them when we get it up and running. So for now, the power's still out, so I've got no battery charger, I've got no air compressor. Let's put some air in the big round things on the back. In a positive sign, did this clamp up a bit tighter, and the tide hasn't gone down, so still a bit drippy at the front, but I'm hoping that's just the fins drying out. So we'll come back a bit later, finish episode 2 of Trevor off. Big morning, a bit frustrating, lots of swear words off camera, but thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll finish this off today. So I popped the fill plug out of the gearbox, and this is a cable tie I've great length. And while there's oil in it, there's not a lot. The gearbox is pretty noisy, so I'll find out what I've got to put in there and just throw some in just to make sure everything's getting what it needs. And while I was going, I thought I'd do the same with the transmission plug. Sorry, the hydraulic tank. Just get this plug out. Here's our trusty cable tie. So yeah, that's got plenty. Before I put that plug back in, I'll show you where I think the leak is coming from. So I'm pretty confident just in behind here there's an O-ring on this shaft that's leaking. That's about the only place I can find a drip. So, but that looks like a job for another day. I've had enough of this starting problem. Highly unlikely these will be any good, but let's have a look, have a check and see what we can do. Okay, these are the 4 that just came out of the tractor. One of them's broken, this one here. And the other 3 don't look too bad. Might be a problem with this one. These are the 4 that came out of the old head. Just going to give them a clean up and find the ones with the best threads, bang them in, hook it all back up, see if I can get away from Aero Start. Okay, so I've hooked the glow plugs back up, 2 from the old head, 2 from this head. Last time I did this, the dashboard smoked, so let's give it a go, and well, I guess if it catches fire, we know it's working. So the internet, it's a very powerful tool, says give it about a minute. I won't quite go that far, I'm still concerned about setting fire to something. So no smoke yet, no flames. Let's give it a go. Fire in a hole. Okay, well, cycled up all right. Can't get it to warm up at all, so makes me wonder, like the radiator's warm, but the temperature gauge has not moved. So I'd say the temperature gauge is shit, but the block is still quite cool to touch, so things are working. In other exciting news, this bloody oil filter and me, we're going to come to blows. I think it's coming out of the bolt at the bottom. I'll have to do some YouTube ranging. So yeah, I'll put Trevor to bed for the day. Wind's getting up. Next time, we take the fuel tank off and try and fix this particular issue. Got a couple of bits to get fixed, got a couple of tyres to find, and yeah, we'll go from there. So like, subscribe, hang out, chill out and enjoy, and see you next time.